US 커머셜 서비스와 공동 주관으로 조합 미국 대사관과 함께 금년 6월 10일에서 13일까지 미국 워싱턴에서 개최되는 미국 경제사절단 프로그램에 대한 특별 설명회가 있습니다. 또한 이번 조찬 포럼에서는 미국의 큰 컨설팅 회사인 SHG 그룹에서 시니어 파트너로 일하고 계신 존 란책 연사님을 강사로 모셨습니다.
대해서 진심으로 감사의 말씀드립니다. 김동정 회장님이 지금 베트남에 계십니다. 그래서 어저께 오시려고 이렇게 했는데 역시 스케줄을 맞추지 못하고 제가 대신 나왔습니다. 이제 벌써 봄이 됐습니다. 이제 기온도 많이 올라갔고 벌써 대학곳은 반발하고 있습니다. 이 새로운 보문정과 또 동맹관계를 더욱더 철저히 하고 어느 때보다도 더 강력한 그런 힘을 서로 나눌 수 있는 그런 그 다짐의 시간이 되고 또 앞으로 그렇게 되기를 희망하는 것이 우리의 새로운 희망이 아닐까 생각이 됩니다. 그런 뜻에서 오늘 아주 좋은 강사님을 모셨습니다. 존 란책 강사님께서는 그에 해당되는 좋은 내용의 강의를 해주실 것이고 또 앤젤라 코린 총영사님을 비롯해서 대사관에서 여러분의 직원들도 이렇게 참석해 주신 데 대해서 대단히 감사합니다. 그리고 또 김동영 회장께서는 우리 참석하신 여러분들을 위해서 또 선물을 마련하셨어요. 그래서 이 포럼이 끝나고 가실 때 잊어버리지 말고 꼭 한 개씩 챙겨가시기 바랍니다. Let me give a few words in English for our American friends who are attending here. Springtime is around the corner, and the springtime always gives us a new hope. And the new hope that we are thinking of at this moment is absolutely clear. It's needless to say that the friendship between Korea and the United States will become even more amicable and stronger than ever before. In that sense, we are so lucky to have an excellent speaker, Mr. John Monchek, and we also are so happy to have the Consul General of U.S. Embassy, Angela Corwin. Let me remind you that the Chairman Kim Dong-young is so kind that he provided us with a very, very precious gift for all of you. So please don't forget to pick up one piece as you leave this room after the forum. I thank you very much, and God bless you. Thank you.
You that our ambassador couldn't be here. You got second string, but that's okay because he just got back late last night from spending a little bit over a week in the United States, actually talking about the economic ties between our two countries. In fact, you probably read about this trip in the press. He started in Georgia at a Kia plant that opened in 2006, about $1.1 billion investment by Kia. And what happened there was, it was an area of the United States, that particular spot, where unemployment was about 13%. And now it's somewhere between 3 to 5%. That's directly because of the investment that Kia made there. Not only the direct jobs from the manufacturing plant and for the supply chain, but all the indirect business opportunities that built up right around that area because of the investment that Kia made. The ambassador wasn't by himself. He was with the Korean ambassador, Ambassador Cho, and they traveled together, which I think is another indication of the strong ties between our two countries. The next stop was Texas. So, Dr. Yu, I don't know that they went to Texas A&M, but they should have, because the Aggies should be in charge of everything, right? Our ambassador did say that everything is bigger and better in Texas while they were there visiting the Samsung semiconductor plant. They also went on to San Francisco, California, and Denver, Colorado. Again, talking about the close economic ties between our two countries. And in fact, you all know better than everybody, so I'm not going to say a whole bunch of statistics, that we are closer than ever. Something like $156 billion in two-way trade in goods and services in 2017. That's only going to go up. And one of the reasons why I'm here today is to talk about not just how that has impacted the United States, but how it has also impacted Korea. We see an incredible return both in profit and innovation in Korea, and almost 500,000 jobs, Korean jobs, because of the ties between our two countries and because of the relationship that we have. So it's a winning story that we have here for both countries. It's more jobs, it's more profit, it's more stability, more diversification, and more innovation for future growth. That's something that we both want. And it's a story that continues. It's still being written, and there are many more chapters to come. And I'm here to congratulate you because you are the ones that wrote the beginning of this book, in the middle of this book, and the book continues. And I'm asking you to go forward and write even more chapters in this book. And one of the ways to do that is to attend our Select USA Summit. And the Select USA Summit is something that my colleague Caroline Chung is going to talk to you about in great depth. But it's run by our Department of Commerce in the United States. And it's an opportunity to get everybody under one roof to talk at one time. This isn't easy when you have a country that has 50 states and 50 different ways of doing things. So last year's event, we had a representative from all the states, plus a couple of our territories. We had 64 participants from overseas countries that were there. And it's an opportunity to have everybody under one roof at one time, kind of a one-stop shop. Come here and learn everything that you can about what the investment opportunities are in the States, meeting with the state officials, the local officials, and the federal officials, figuring out what steps you can use to help invest in the United States. We all know that the U.S. is a diverse land of opportunities, a huge consumer market. Our workers there, our technology, and our resources are vast and varied, which means there are opportunities for all levels of business. Small business folks, medium enterprises, and even multinationals. Say isn't just for the big guys, isn't just for the little guys, it's for everybody and everybody in between. So Secretary of Commerce Wilbur Ross will be hosting this year. But the group that's going from Korea, we're really fortunate because Ambassador Harris is going to accompany them. And Ambassador Harris is excited about this. It'll be his first time attending this event. He's, as you know, very out there talking about all the things that Korea and the United States can do together, and he's most excited about the economic opportunities that we have together. So I encourage you to attend the summit and to have an opportunity to meet with the investors, network, educate yourselves, learn about all of the resources that are available. The summit is scheduled for the 10th through the 12th. Caroline Chung and Miss Beck, could you raise your hands? These two have all of the information. These guys are doing all the hard work for the ambassador. They'll be there. So very specific questions they will answer, and I think Caroline's going to give a much better presentation than I am in just a few minutes about all of the opportunities that are out there. So before I worry you any longer, I want to say thank you again for the opportunity to be here. I want to urge you to participate in the Select USA Summit. I want to particularly thank this morning, I see a few women in the audience. That isn't always the case, sometimes underrepresented at these type of events. So I'm really thrilled to have some women here, and I'd really like to encourage you to participate in Select USA Summit as well. Thank you very much. Thank you to the Korean American Business Forum, for Friendship Forum, for inviting me here today, and thank you for allowing me to speak to you.
Connections, and they need to be trustworthy. You need to trust them. Number 3, you need a friend who can guide you, right? So, more questions for you that you may think sound familiar. The question we hear most often in the United States or at Select USA is, where should I go? Where do I bring my company? The United States is a really big place. Well, to answer that, we need to get to know each other. We need to get acquainted. You need to take the first step. You need to come to us and say hi, right? That's the first step. Super easy. So who are you? I will ask you. Who are you? What do you do? Who are your customers? What do you sell? And then what do you need? When you go to the United States, what is the size of your project? What are you thinking about? Maybe you don't know yet. That's okay. Okay? What's the size and scale of your rental location?
First off, I would like to thank Mr. Yu Yang Hee for his invitation to address you and become part of the forum. I met Mr. Yu a little over a month ago at a temple stay, and I guess the spiritual rejuvenation helped to make the connection.
네, 여러분 안녕하십니까. 먼저 한미기업인 친선포럼 조차 모임에 함께하게 되면 매우 영광이라고 생각합니다. 제가 이 자리에는 유정희 박사님의 초대를 받아서 왔는데요. 한 달 전쯤에 템플스테이에서 유정희 박사님을 뵙게 되었습니다. 영적으로 이렇게 활기가 넘치다 보니까 오늘 이 자리까지 연결이 된 거 아닌가 그런 생각이 듭니다.
You meet the nicest people at a temple stay.
네, 템플스테이 가면 원래 좋은
Liberty, equality, and the pursuit of happiness. We have a philosophical direction for our collective future.
네, 그 옆에 성조기를 가만히 또 살펴보면 삶과 자유, 평등, 행복 추구의 정신을 담고 있습니다. 우리 공동의 미래의 철학적 방향을 제시한다라고 생각합니다.
So as we pause from our current geopolitical dysfunctions and troubled times and take a deep breath, we can envision a silver lining about to bloom.
네, 지금 우리가 겪고 있는 이런 지정학적인 여러 가지 어려운 문제들 그리고 이렇게 난세를 살고 있는데 우리가 잠깐 생각해 보면은 또 여기에서 긍정적인 또 다행스러운 일이 또 피어나고 있음을 깨달을 수 있습니다.
So there are many positive forces in season right now, and we must take the responsibility to nurture the growing seeds of change, technology, and human need to facilitate new possibilities and prosperity.
네, 그래서 많은 긍정적인 요인들이 있다라고 생각하는데요. 그래서 우리가 이러한 변화와 또 기술, 인간의 변화를 위한 그런 씨앗을 키우고 양육해 해서 새로운 미래의 가능성과 번영을 더욱더 촉진시켜야 할 것이라고 생각합니다.
So my background has been in product and brand development, integrating design, engineering, marketing, and business.
제 백그라운드를 잠깐 말씀을 드리자면 제품과 브랜드 개발 그리고 인티그레이팅 디자인, 엔지니어링
Product design and development, package design, and marketing and sales.
네, 상당히 많은 부분에서 몸담아 왔는데요. 인터내셔널 디자인, 인터내셔널 비즈니스 그리고 인큐베이팅, 스타트업, 방사 등 패키지 디자인 등 다양한 산업에서 활동해 왔습니다.
I've worked on many global brands, repositioning and expanding and maintaining them.
그리고 많은 글로벌 브랜드의 유지 보수 그리고 확장 이런 부분에서 담당해 왔습니다.
But I also enjoy the excitement of the startup.
또 저는 또 이 스타트업의 이런 역동성이
Sustainability and conservation.
이러한 세금의 지원을 통해서 에너지 관련 여러 연구라든지 연구 활동을 지원할 수 있게 되었습니다.
And then there was the Empire State Development Corporation, which is New York State's economic development agency. And I worked with all these groups over the last 10, 15 years with startup companies looking to finance and get tax incentives with the state.
네, 뿐만 아니라 ESD라는 Empire State 개발, 뉴욕의 경제개발국 산하에 있는 조직인데요. 이러한 기구들과 제가 지난 수십 년 동안 함께 일을 해왔고 이를 통해서 스타트업의 자금 조달이라든지 세금 감면 혜택 등을 기회를 모색해 왔습니다.
So in 2017, I decided to start JATEP, which is the J2회 Asian American Technology Exchange.
네, 2017년에 제가 제2회이라는 것을 설립을 했는데요. 제주 아세안 아메리칸 테크놀로지 익스체인지라는 포털의 약자입니다.
My associates in New York were very excited to hear about Jeju's objectives and as its stepping ground to larger Asian markets.
네, 뉴욕에 있는 제 동료
ailments.
여러 조류 독감이라든지 메르스 등의 효과가 있었음을 입증했습니다.
In 2017 and 2018, SDU Lab Korea went through testing in Ministry of Environment regulatory compliance.
네, SD랩 코리아가 발족을 했는데 2017년, 2018년에 한국의 환경부와 함께 여러 규제에 대한 컴플라이언스를 확인한 바 있습니다.
So we have many pilots in place throughout Korea, and even Jeju, in Singapore, Thailand, Vietnam.
그래서 다양한 프로젝트, 다양한 시범 사업들이 서울과 제주, 싱가포르, 태국과 베트남 등에서 지금 진행되고 있습니다.
These are used in hospitals and clinics and schools, airports and subways.
네, 그래서 이러한 감염 관리 서비스를 병원과 보건소, 학교, 공항 등에 제공하고 있습니다.
We've even been testing them at poultry farms in South Korea to stop the spread of avian flu.
네, 그리고 한국의 가금류 농장에도 이러한 서비스를 제공한 바 있는데요. 이를 통해서 조류 독감 감염을 해결한 바 있습니다.
And we're in the process of licensing.
모호한 어드밴스 메터리얼의 기업 인수라든지 내각 자본, 그리고 자본 조달 등의 서비스를 제공하고 있습니다.
So advanced ceramics and materials and industrial coatings has been a big part of SHG's portfolio, as have been agricultural products. But this is much broader. Our work includes educational risks, but there's a variety of industries that we're involved in.
네, 보시다시피 포트폴리오가 상당히 다양한 것을 아마 이 표를 통해서 보실 수 있을 것 같습니다.
We have a footprint in Jeju, in New York, in London. We have a broad global network and know-how. We have experience mentoring at leading incubators. We're associated with many institutions and investors, decades of consulting, 500, Fortune 500 and small medium enterprise, global perspective of emerging technologies, investment banking and strategic advisory and valuation services, and we know how to evaluate and facilitate business opportunities and strategic alliances throughout the world.
네, 저희가 제주와 뉴욕 그리고 런던에 거점을 가지고 있습니다. 그리고 글로벌 네트워크와